The world's most audacious kidnappings, Country Edition. It's January 2026, and things just got extremely weird in Venezuela. We're talking U.S. military strikes and the actual literal capture of President Nicolas Maduro level of weird. Whether you call it a liberation, an abduction, or just the world's most intense game of tag, it's basically the biggest yoink in modern history. But here's the thing. While the world is arguing about whether this was a boss move or a total disaster, we here at Unserious History looked at it and thought, wait, haven't we seen this movie before? Turns out, countries have been sneaking into each other's backyards to snatch people for decades. Today, we're looking at 5 other times a country pulled off a sneak attack kidnapping, because apparently, national sovereignty is more of a suggestion when you have a cool enough plan. 1. Operation Just Cause, aka the rock and roll kidnapping. First up, let's go back to 1989, to a place called Panama and a guy named Manuel Noriega. This dude was running the show, and let's just say the US wasn't a huge fan of his managerial style. Instead of just sending a mean email, they sent 27,000 troops to basically evict him. When the invasion started, Noriega bolted to the Vatican embassy seeking sanctuary. Since the U.S. military couldn't exactly shoot their way into the Pope's property without causing a massive diplomatic nightmare, they got creative. They set up massive speakers and blasted high-volume rock music like Van Halen's Panama and Guns N' Roses at the building for 10 days straight. Noriega eventually surrendered, likely because he was tired of the 24/7 concert he never asked for. 2. Operation Entebbe, the fake limo trick. In 1976, a plane full of Israeli hostages was sitting at an airport in Uganda. The Ugandan government wasn't being helpful, so Israel decided to handle the rescue mission themselves. Israeli commandos flew 2,500 miles across Africa, staying dangerously low to the ground to avoid being spotted by radar. To get close to the terminal without starting a gunfight immediately, they brought along a black Mercedes limo and Land Rovers painted to look exactly like the motorcade of Uganda's president, Idi Amin. The guards at the gate simply waved them through, thinking their own boss was coming for a surprise visit, allowing the commandos to drive right up to the building. 3. Operation Ica, the mountain glider escape. In 1943, Italian dictator Benito Mussolini was deposed and hidden away in a resort on top of a massive mountain peak called Gran Sasso. The location was chosen because the only way up was a single, easily guarded cable car. However, German commandos ignored the cable car entirely and crash-landed gliders onto the tiny, rocky slopes surrounding the hotel. After grabbing Mussolini, they had to get him off the mountain in a tiny Storch plane that was only built to carry 2 people. With 3 grown men squeezed inside, the plane nearly tumbled off the cliff during takeoff, but managed to wobble into the air at the very last second. The Kidnapping of Adolf Eichmann, the drunk pilot cover. In 1960, Israeli Mossad agents tracked down high-ranking Nazi Adolf Eichmann in Argentina. Since Argentina wasn't likely to hand him over voluntarily, the agents just snatched him off the street and held him in a safe house for days while they figured out how to leave the country. To get him past airport security, they drugged him, dressed him in an El Al flight attendant uniform, and walked him through the terminal. They told inquisitive officials that he was just a crew member who had too much to drink and needed to be helped back to the plane. The disguise worked perfectly, and they flew him straight to Israel for trial. 5. Operation Neptune Spear, the stealth crash. In 2011, the U.S. found Osama bin Laden in a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Because they didn't want to tip anyone off, they didn't tell the Pakistani government they were coming. SEAL Team 6 flew into the country using top-secret stealth helicopters designed to be invisible to radar. The sneak part of the attack hit a snag when one of the fancy helicopters clipped a wall and crashed in the yard during the landing. The SEALs finished the mission anyway, but before they left, they had to use explosives to blow up their own multi-million-dollar invisible helicopter to make sure the secret technology wouldn't be left behind for others to study. Whether it's fake limos, loud rock music, or dressing people up as drunk flight attendants, history shows that if a country wants you badly enough, they'll find a way to yoink you. If the recent headlines about Maduro feel crazy, just remember, it's an old trick with a new coat of paint. If you enjoyed this look at history's most audacious gotchas, hit the like button and subscribe to Unserious History.